Welcome back to Writing Done Right. On this channel, we teach you how to do all sorts of fun writing tips and tricks. And today, we're not going to be in LibreOffice. We're actually going to be in Sigil. And I'm going to teach you a few more things, particularly linking and anchoring within your book to get professional bibliographies and linking your chapters back to your table of contents. Something, for some reason, a lot of people don't do, but makes a lot of sense. So, stay tuned. Thanks for checking out this video. I am Tom Morosky, an author and a technology consultant. And on this channel, we teach you how to use free and open source software to write and produce high quality books. And today we're going to show you how to get in here and start linking your chapter titles, your bibliographies, and things like that. All right, so here we are on Sigil. Now, I do not have Page Edit installed on this computer, so we can't go and do the visual editor. I don't generally like those anyway, being familiar and comfortable with HTML code. But this book is nearly finished, and I wanted to show you a few different elements of hyperlinking. One of those is creating a proper bibliography, and another of these is going to be how to link your titles. So linking your titles, I have the page all set up, and I went in, and each of the chapters I put an H1 for each of the main chapter headings. I have an H2 for each of the page or each of the subsections. So this is chapter 1. Let me show you what this looks like in the book. That's chapter 2. So here's chapter 1. So we have in chapter 1, here's our title. This is, I have it as set as an H1 in the Sigil. This is a subheading. So this is an H2. You can see here I have some block quotes on the Bible references and things like that. So as we created the ebook for this, I'm going to go ahead and open this up in the ebook viewer. This is the ebook viewer that comes with Calibri built in. I have the table of contents turned on. I've been using this for testing. So when you go in and you create your book, and in Sigil, under the Tools menu, there is a create a, I'm sorry, I'm going to get to Sigil, not not LibreOffice. Under here, we have Table of Contents, and we can generate a table of contents. This is going to go through your whole document and find all of your H1s, H2s, and then you can choose where the table of contents gets put in there. I'm going to go ahead and save this. I don't want to actually do it, but I want to show you what it looks like. So if we hit generate, you can see in here that it gives us all of our header tags. Now, specifically, you can do none, you can do up to level 1. So this is going to get rid of all of the H2s in there. And then you'll see that I have introduction. I've one chapter title. This is just to keep some consistency in with this book, where the 1 is the chapter number and then the learning objectives is the chapter title. I don't need the numbers in the table of contents, so I just go through and check them off the list. Whoops, except I goofed up. That's okay, because I'm not generating a new table of contents anyway. Just make sure everything is on here I want and push OK, and it's going to create a TOC file. Now, it generates at the bottom of the document. I like moving that up so that when you open up the book here and you start scrolling through the book, here's the book, here's our inner cover design, and then here's our copyright page, and then we have our table of contents. Now, the plus side is that the table of contents system creates this nice table of contents, which will work on any e-reader, but it also generates this table of contents on the side. All right. That is going to be part of the manifest files inside of the ebook viewer. But what it doesn't do is it doesn't cross-link our titles back. So I can click in here, but if I want to go back to the table of contents, I might have to reopen the table of contents or whatever else. I like going in and creating my table of contents and having those hot linkable back. So on any chapter, I can hot link this back to the table of contents. I like adding that function in. The other thing I would like to do here is we do actually have a few footnotes throughout the book, and I want to show you also how to add the footnotes in there. And they should be here in some form or another, but I don't think they're in here very well. So let me find one. Okay, so I know there should be a foot link right here. So this is actually working out just fine. There are multiple ways of doing these. I'm going to show you how to put these in. Right now, I actually have these, though, footnotes at the bottom, and they're not in any bibliography. And if you want to see the bibliography and go back and see what those references are, that's the other thing I want to fix. So I'm going to take all the footnotes out, put them in a bibliography instead, and then cross-link those back, but keep that exact function that we had. This way, once again, you can see the bibliography. You can go back to where it is in the book. It makes the book a lot easier to read, a lot easier to study, and a lot easier to verify what you're doing. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to talk about hot linking the titles. So the code inside of your titles, what it does when you create your table of contents is it's going to create these classes. And actually, it's going to create these for TOC ID, and then it'll have a Sigil not in TOC. I stripped all those out because any extra code is going to add to the size of the document, and I don't want to add to the size of the document. So I keep my code as absolutely clean and simple as I can. So, but you can see now that chapter 1 is hot linked already back. This is going back to the toc.xhtml file. Now, what I'm going to need to do is I'm going to need to do this for each of the chapters. So chapter 2 is in, and I think chapter 3 is where I stopped because I wanted to show you guys how to do this. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to highlight just the text. I'm not going to highlight the H1 tag, just the text inside of it. And then up here is the link. Now, the link is going to select a target. We can enter a HTML page. So if you're using something like an Android device or a Kindle Fire or something that has extra internet and can open a web page, you can actually put a web page in here and open this up. So I have a link to my newsletters in here. I have a link to my website in here where you can buy the books in here. I have links to all those inside this document. But it will give you a list of all of these tags. Where do these tags come from? Well, that is this ID equals. These ID equals, these are called anchor tags. And you can add them using the anchor button up here at the top of the page. So if you were to add an anchor, you enter the ID, and then that's going to simply add that ID into the list, and then it's going to appear in this list here. So in this case, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to link it right back to the TOC. You'll see there's a TOC and there's a couple extra items in there. I'm just going to go to the top of the TOC page because that is small enough. You'll see that it's going to automatically do that. And now we're going to repeat this on each of the chapters. All right, so this is the last one. We're going to go ahead and save this guy up and reopen the file with the ebook viewer. And now that we have this opened up in the ebook viewer, you'll see that now the bibliography is linked. All these guys are linked right back to the table of contents. So this makes it easy that you don't have to go into your device and open up the table of contents. And some devices will be able to quickly hot link back and forth into each of those. All right, so now let's go ahead and build this bibliography. So what I need to do is I need to figure out exactly how many items we have here and where they're at. Whoops, looks like I goofed something up right there, but that's okay because this, actually, I think this is my final production. So I got to fix that, whatever that's doing. I don't know. So now I have 4 references and I roughly know where they are. Of course, in LibreOffice, these automatically hot link. I think these are in chapter, let's see. So these are in chapter Importance of Influences. I think that's going to be chapter 4. So I'm going to find these references. So let's go ahead. I'm going to close all these documents up here. And then we're just going to open up just the chapters that we need opened up. Okay, so one of those is chapter 4. All right, let's go back to our bibliography. This one's also chapter 4. This one is our ultimate choice. I think that is chapter 5. Good. And then the last one is in Real Salvation. And that must be chapter 6, Real Salvation. All right, so these are the 4 that we are doing. All right, so what the default behavior is when you go from the LibreOffice and export it is it puts them at the bottom of each page. So you can see this is the aside footnote. And under the aside footnote, it's actually not going to show up inside of our text. And so I don't really want those showing up, but I am going to cut all these out. And this is going to temporarily break what is on the pages. Oops, I don't need that page. Let's go ahead and do bibliography. All right, so now what we're going to do is I'm just going to paste these guys in here, and we're going to clean up the code in a bit. Here's chapter 5. And we're going to grab this one. Going to cut these out of here, and I'm going to get rid of this extra break. There might be one in chapter 4. Nope, looks like I already got rid of that one in chapter 4. All right, and chapter 6. Going to cut that out of there and go back to our bibliography, chapter 6. All right, so now what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and clean these up. So I'm just going to start by just cleaning out the asides. And we're going to create a list here. So you can create a list up here in the top. So you can see the whole number 1, 2, 3 up there. That's should create a list for us. Looks like we might need to put something in here. Let's do item 1, item 2, item 3. Let's see if that actually gets our list running. Boom, there you go. That gave us our list. And then let's just do one more for item 4. Now, I personally would do this just by doing the OLs because I do the HTML code myself a lot. All right, so now each of these guys here now being a list item, what we're going to do is I'm just going to start by taking the reference and dropping them in each of these. This might seem like a little bit of extra work for you, but you'll see in the end why I do this. So we're going to copy this one into item 2. Copy this one into item 3. And yes, the book that I have that has 100 references in the back, yes, we did this on that book. And it took a while. But I wanted people to be able to go back and forth and find the references more easily. I love the basic footnote behavior that we have inside of the books. That's totally awesome. But at the same time, I want to be able to have a system in place by where we can also easily find those and cross-reference those. All right, so now that we've done that, now we're going to go in and we are going to create an anchor for each of these. So we're going to highlight the text and remember our anchor button. And I'm just going to label these, and I just do these easy, ref 1, ref 2, ref 3, ref 4. So now this is going to create for me an anchor by which I can call this from the page. So we are on ref 2. Highlight this. Oop, wrong button. Ref 3. And ref 4. All right, so now we're going to go back into our chapters and we're going to find where these guys are at. And we're going to have to fix these up. So this is reference 2. I want to find reference 1 here, which is right here. Now, the anatomy of this here, we have a lot of things going on here. So I'm going to clear it all out. I'm going to show you from the very beginning what we're going to do. All right, so here we have the I here is italicizing. And then what I want to do is this is the number, which is the reference, and we're going to use our superscript key. So up here at the top and hit our superscript. So that's our SUP. Now, inside of our SUP, we are going to do another anchor, and we're going to call this Ref1. But with that still highlighted, we're also going to go into here, and we're going to find Bibliography Ref1. All right, so now we will have the ID tag in here and the link to the bibliography. So we're going to go ahead and do the same for the next one, which is going to be 2. So I'm just going to do that. Let's start with supering it. Then we're going to ref to it. And then we're going to anchor it. Now we're doing bibliography ref 2. All right, chapter 5. Going to find our reference in chapter 5. Here it is. I think I said ref 5. This is ref 3. Superscript. Ref 3. And link to bibliography ref 3. And the next one is chapter 6. Got to find this one. Here it is. This is 4. Superscript 4. Anchor ref 4. And link to bibliography ref 4. Okay, now the next thing we're going to need to do is come back in the bibliography, and now we're going to relink these back to the original. So this is going to be chapter 1. We're going to find, what is this, chapter, I forget what this was, chapter 4, ref 1. Now this is linking to chapter 4, ref 2. And notice that we're staying inside of the HTML tags, the A and the close A. This is going to be chapter 5, ref 3. And the last one is chapter 6, ref 4. Okay, we're going to save the document. Let's close the reader view. Now let's reopen with the ebook viewer. Oh, we forgot to fix one more thing. We forgot to get rid of all these. We don't need these anymore. All right. And save that. And now we're going to open up the document. So let's go back to chapter 4. So here's our reference. You'll see it still works the same, but now we actually have a hot link inside of here. So I can click the hot link, depending on your e-reader. This one does not allow me to do that. But here I can see where the hot links are in the bibliography, and I can go back and I can get to where it's at. Here's 2. This particular e-reader does not allow me to cross-reference back and forth between them. Some e-readers will and some e-readers won't. But what you'll see is that we can go into the bibliography and see where all those are. Document Viewer might allow me to do that. So let me go ahead and have a look at this in Document Viewer. You can see it doesn't look, this does not work quite as well as an ebook reader, but it's not really designed as an ebook reader. It just has a little bit of ebook reader support in it. So let's see what we got. Here's our reference here. This will link back down to here. But you'll see now how this is going to work on a ebook reader or a device that doesn't have and support the references, internal references and things like that. You'll see that this is still going to allow us to work even a little bit better in some respects. So now we have hot linked our titles, our chapter titles, our references are in here now. So here's this one, which gives me extra information. I wish this device allowed me to go right into the thing there, but let's go back up to here. And this is going to take me, okay, that's what this one does. This one actually takes me to the bibliography to see it. I forgot. That's how this one works. But now we have all of our titles linked back to a nice title. We have a nice bibliography. We can use our bibliography to go right back up to where that was at. So here it is here. And now this book now looks way more professional than the old way of doing it because we have a good bibliography. We can find, we can read, and everything else in here is about ready to go. So it looks like I do actually need to fix this. Apparently the acknowledgements did not get set on its separate page, and it should have been. I'll go ahead and fix that now off camera. I don't need to do that here. But the book, other than that, is ready to go. All I'm waiting for right now is the Library of Congress LCCN number, which, yeah, I should have known better than to apply for the number right before Thanksgiving. It might be December before this book gets out. But keep an eye out, and I'll announce it when this book does go out, so that if you're interested in this particular book on Joash's influences, lessons about following friends, you can find it on the different websites that I have. So hopefully this has been helpful for you. And with that, guys, thanks for watching. And I hope that we have helped you to get your writing done.